to Sonoma, the desert track in Western California, or no, the west of the United States. Anyway, we are here for the Catalyst Vince Major League eSports Series. So I'm keeping up in the booth with you, joined as always by my usual brother from another mother, Mr. Tony Chapato. Tony, it's going to be an interesting one tonight, especially with the Spencer Pete leading the charts.
Well, it's always fun when you come to wine country of Southern California, Sam.
Absolutely, and it's going to be no different here, and it's good to hear you back in the Major League eSports booth, Tony. I can speak for the other guys in the league who can actually say that they've actually missed you in this league, so good to have you back here.
Well, it's I make no qualms about it. It's the last month has not been kind to me health-wise, so it's good to be here with you. But like I was saying, it's always fun when we come to wine country, and it seems like that's all we've been doing this week between Watkins Glen and now Sonoma. If you're still sober, you're doing it wrong.
Absolutely. Well, before we go to tonight's race broadcast, we are going to go to a couple of sponsors here for tonight's race. Just want to give a quick mention to a special race we've got planned for tomorrow night. That is the Penny Dudley ALS Race for a Cure 250, presented by Top Fuel Racing, live on Bofa Broadcasting. That would be the IRA teams kicking off at Michigan, the house that Penske built. And if you are interested in taking part in this race, there are spots still open, by the way. If you're interested in taking part, or if you're interested in just throwing out a donation, anything just to get up to that $500 target, then please just let Scott Brinson know. He will get you hooked up either with a race spot or with just send your donation away. You can find the link to donate on the website for the league. It's topfuelracing.us. Just want to give a shout out to Ride to Give, another charity that supports not just this channel but our team Phenomenal Evolution as a whole. So if you want more information, then go to Ride to Give. You can find them on Facebook. Also want to give a shout out to PC Overlays, Paul Zota, one of the most gifted people when it comes to making overlays. So if you want an overlay like the one you see on tonight's broadcast, then go to PC Overlays. You can find them on Facebook as well. And finally, I'd be remiss if we didn't show our ever-loving support for pulmonary hypertension awareness. Pulmonary hypertension, one of the most difficult to diagnose diseases in the medical profession. So if you want to throw out a donation, or if you want to find out some more information, then please go to phaware.global and also use the hashtag RUPHAware. Well, tonight is the first road course we're going to be paying a visit to here in the Catalyst Vince Series, and just under 30. Sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just got some great news. Just when we thought tonight could not get any better. Of course, we're at the first road course for the Catalyst Mint Series. And stages tonight are going to be lap 15, lap 30, and then the checkers. I just received word from League Commissioner Tex Perry, standing start tonight.
Oh, so that is really going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons tonight, as we're just clicking over to qualifying, and that is really going to make it an interesting race here tonight, Tony. Wow, that's kind of blown me away right now.
I'm excited. I am very excited for this.
Absolutely. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying here today, given the fact that obviously this is a road course. They're going to need a little bit longer to qualify here tonight. So we're just watching former championship leader now, Spencer Preet, just making his way out of pit road. He is looking to get his season back on track, having to miss a couple of weeks, one for his birthday, and last week doing a start in park, which was a strange one for the 27, but he's back here tonight at Sonoma, and he's not slowed down at all because he's been absolutely lighting up the timing sheets tonight.
Well, sitting at the top of the leaderboard after final practice, so going to be interesting to see what these guys, what type of times these guys can lay down in the qualifying session. Basically throw a blanket over the entire field, because there's not anybody that's really off pace. It's just some guys were able to blister one, but I was looking, during the practice session, I was able to look at, what guys were putting up average lap time wise, and everybody's right there, low 20s. So it's going to be real interesting to see, what type of tire conservation these guys are going to be dealing with. Will the tires last all 15 laps of the first 2 segments?
And that's an interesting thing. We saw this track already this week with the Sonoma Racing League, the Portside Jaguar and Land Rover Cup Series, and we found that those guys in the Cup cars could last around 20 laps. I mean, this is the old Cup car from NASCAR, so you reckon they could last around the same amount of time?
Yes and no. And the only reason I say that is because the N6 cars, the newest car in the NASCAR fleet, does have more downforce than the older car that they're running here. This is the old Nationwide car, actually. But conversely, you're talking a car that's 200 pounds lighter with approximately 150 to almost 200 less horsepower. Same tires, it's just less weight, less horsepower, so you're abusing the driveline less. It's going to be interesting to see, as far as shifting goes, because you're going to be shifting around this place at least 20 times a lap.
Absolutely, and we're just looking at Spencer Preet completing his flying lap now. Killed a couple of cones on his way into the hairpin, but here he comes around the final corner now and across the line. Let's see what sort of time this gives him. And oh, maybe not. Maybe that was his out lap. Anyway,
that was his out lap. Travis Brown, the only one putting up a legit time so far.
Spencer,
who was that?
That was Spencer Preet just going straight off the track. Go back and watch that. Just locked them all up going towards the left hand, the right hander, and just didn't stop going into the tire wall. And yeah, snap, see you bye.
I'm thinking he's mad at himself for getting a 2X, or no, it would be a 1X for cutting that first turn there past the start-finish line.
Or did he get himself a black flag for hitting those 2 cones on the pit entry before the hairpin?
That's a possibility as well.
Maybe, yes. We're going to look at Marcus Hagman in the 099, the little Indy champion from Major League eSports. He's making an appearance here tonight at Sonoma. He's already top of the standings with a 120.414, over 0.2 of a second ahead of previous leader Elliott Smith, who moved up to second just before Marcus moved to the top. You're
gonna see a lot of seesaw going on during the qualifying session here, and one of the things that we were talking about just before we went on the air. There's a lot of people with a rookie tag next to their name tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out on the road course, because there is a vast difference a lot of times on the road courses, more so on the ovals, between the haves and the have-nots as far as road racing experience.
Absolutely, and one of the rookies that we did want to mention that's actually not here tonight, Cody Walling, really getting that, like, putting on one hell of a show last time out at Michigan and stealing the win. Not here tonight at Sonoma, so taking a week off from road racing. Hopefully we'll see him back next week when we go to Chicagoland. But yeah, you'd think after getting his first win, you'd think Cody Walling would want to come here and repeat that process.
Well, it's a rough one this weekend because a lot of places, especially in the northeast of the United States, I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but it's graduation weekend for a lot of secondary schools.
Absolutely, as the school year is starting to come to an end now. As just looking back at, actually, we're going to look at Mark Arthur, and look what paint scheme he's got back on his car now, Tony. He's got the Powerpuff Girls back again.
Well, last time we saw him in that car, it brought him good luck, so why not?
I mean, in the last couple of weeks, he's been running the Marine scheme, and it's not giving him much luck at all. And you'd think he would, because it's a very nice paint scheme. But, I mean, a lot of drivers base their luck on whatever paint schemes they run, and Mark Arthur is no exception. I mean, yeah, he's had a lot of luck in that paint scheme. I mean, he won 3 races using it in a row. So, hopefully it'll bring him look here again tonight. Want to go back to Spencer Preet, who's just absolutely destroyed the timesheets.
Good grief. 2 seconds to the good.
As that's Kyle Gilbert just going off right next to him. Kyle Gilbert impressed me last night. He took part in his first ever Paskey's Grand National Series race last night at Watkins Glen and came home in the top 3, Tony. So no slouch when it comes to road courses for Mr. Gilbert.
It looks like. But yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for somebody to really. It's going to depend on what type of pace Preet can maintain. You know, there's a difference between busting one off and being able to maintain it. You know, as Andrew Frazier goes second quick, so cutting the gap a little bit at least.
Yeah, getting that gap down to 1.3 seconds to Spencer Preet, but Spencer Preet, we've seen someone like win in dominant fashion in this track already. That was Keith Maiato, of all people, just absolutely walking away with the race at Sonoma. These guys behind that are going to be starting behind Spencer Preet. They're going to need to keep up with him as much as possible. Otherwise, he's just going to walk away with this thing. But luckily, there is stage racing here tonight, not unlike what we saw on Thursday night. So hopefully that'll keep things more interesting here tonight.
Now, one name I would like to mention, Tyler Vickery, driving for PH Aware and the Mighty. I've actually watched him throughout practice. The young man has impressed me in the fact that he's actually cut full seconds off his average lap time.
And Tyler's the same. He's no slouch when it comes to road course racing. I mean, he had bad luck on Wednesday in Top Fuel racing at Watkins Glen, but I've seen him race in many teams, and he's part of our endurance team, so we know he's no slouch on the road courses. So it's good to see him that he's actually getting out there, putting the laps in, and getting and actually improving as he goes along.
And in his defense, I mean, he's sitting 9th quick right now, but he's not a qualifying driver. He's more of a let's keep the car underneath us and bring it home kind of driver.
Absolutely, as he comes down to complete another lap. No, he doesn't. He brings it down pit side. As this is another interesting thing we've not seen in this series yet. It's actually open qualifying, so everybody out on track at the same time. Just looking at Elliott Smith, who is our newest addition to the endurance team. And yeah, another fast one on the road courses, even though he is 2 seconds behind Spencer Preet, but that's inevitable.
You know, I've been meaning to ask you who the hell Elliott is in the team speak that or the chats we've been having there with the team. All right.
Yeah, Elliott Smith there in the 91, the man from the Far East. James Bunce in the 22, another one of our teammates who's driving for Phenomenal Evolution for Spa. He's running down in P12 right now, 5 seconds off the pace, but don't let that distract you. He is usually quite fast on road courses.
Well, I mean, it's impressive that you know, PH Aware is going to be represented by 3 separate teams in the 24 Hours of Spa next month. And those of you who know Sam and I well enough know that we're advocates for PH Aware, and there's going to be, as they've been lovingly dubbed, the Purple People Eaters, the Magnum PIs, and I forget what the third car was called again.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
What color is it?
The third one is like a steel blue. So.
Oh, right. That was the Heavy Metal Assassins.
Absolutely. And I have been considering adding a 4th team because we do have more drivers interested in joining us as well. So. Everybody interested in joining the PH bandwagon, which is awesome to see, especially when it comes to raising awareness for pulmonary hypertension. And the more drivers, the merrier, I think. If we throw out 10 cars in that race and it throws out more awareness towards finding a cure for pulmonary hypertension, then I am all for it. So definitely.
Well, here's another thing that I'm all for, and that's ALS awareness. as you and I are going to be broadcasting the. Why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden?
The Penny Dudley ALS Race for a Cure 250.
So, plenty of spots left on the grid for that one. If you would like to make a donation, just donate to ALS awareness and to try to find a cure for that. And for those of you from the States who aren't familiar with what ALS is, other than dumping cold buckets of water on themselves, it's also commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease.
And over here in Europe, it's known as motor neuron disease as well.
And it's actually what took the life of Christopher Reeves.
And Stephen Hawking.
And Stephen Hawking as well. So, it's a great cause. One of our fellow racers, Robert Dudley, lost his sister to her battle with ALS this past December. So Top Fuel Racing is putting on the race this coming Sunday in Penny's honor. All monies donated, 100% of all monies donated will be donated to the ALS Foundation of, I believe they're from Alabama. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's...
it's the Alabama chapter.
The Alabama chapter. So if you want to make a donation, topfuelracing.us. You can make a donation right off their webpage. And also find them on their Facebook page. Get a hold of Scott Brinson. Plenty of spots open for tomorrow's race, as we've only got a couple minutes left here in qualifying, and we've only got 3 drivers that are sub 20.
Absolutely, and we'll get back to that in a moment. But firstly, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you to just raise from your seats and put your hands on your hearts as we go to tonight's national anthem. You are joining us live from Sonoma Raceway for the Catalyst Mints Major League eSports Series, and qualifying just finishing up there, as we are going to go straight to our grid for tonight's race. Starting on the front row will be Spencer Preet and Andrew Fraser. Row 2 will be Michael Cozy Jr. and Elliott Smith. Row 3 will be Carl Vincent Gilbert and Marcus Hagman. Row 4 will be Tyler Vickery and Adam Jocelyn. And row 5 will be Mark Arthur and Travis Brown.
Corey Henry and Mark McSweeney are going to make up row 6. Row 7 is going to go to Doug Thompson and James Bruce. Hunter King, Tex Perry, and Marshall Newton not taking time in qualifying. The three will be starting shotgun on the field at the tail end.
As we are just about to get underway now. People getting gridded up for tonight's race. Remember, this is a standing start. as qualifying is still got a minute left, amazingly. So we are just going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be back in a couple of minutes.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. Oh, oh, oh. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
You wanna race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR Ignite Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
So we are back live here at Sonoma. Just a short commercial break there for your guys' enjoyment. A new feature that we've been showing on both of broadcasting lately. But anyway, everybody lining up on the grid. Spencer Preet and Michael Cozy on the front row. Cozy just coming in very last minute and just blistering one off, just only half a second off the pace from his own teammate Spencer Preet there, Tony.
Yeah, that's impressive to see. You know, the fact that he joined so late. You know, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier between the haves and the have-nots with road racing experience. You know, there are a lot of guys out there, a lot of guys and gals. I know I don't mean to the way that just came across, but a lot of drivers out there that in this sim that can jump into just about any car and within a handful of laps on pace, if not leading the field.
Absolutely, and we're just getting ready to go green right now. It's a standing start. There's no pace car in front of these guys, so we are going to get them going very quickly. Just waiting for the last guys to grid up right now, as we've got 65 laps here at Sonoma to get underway with the Major League eSports Catalyst Mint Series. Said that in both directions now, but anyway, just waiting for the last couple of people now, as here we go, time's up. And they're revving them up, and we're getting ready to go. And we are green. We're underway here at Sonoma. Everybody getting away cleanly and into turn one. Michael Cozy Jr. already straight into the inside of Spencer Preet, but Preet holding him off very gently into turn one, and up the hill they go.
Well, you got to thank the staggered start for that one. That, you know, he was able to, and the fact that they're teammates, the fact that he wasn't going to push the issue that hard this early.
Absolutely, Cozy Jr. almost trying to get the legs on his teammate. Fraser up there into third, as Tyler Vickery off to a spirited start already. Already up to P7 from P8 where he started, and ahead of Mark Arthur.
Ahead of Mark Arthur, as Arthur looks like he's struggling right now with that standing start. And a guy that's definitely on the move, Elliott Smith, actually got an abysmal start, it looks like. Currently sitting in 6th, so lost a couple of spots on the start.
Yeah, and almost got it wrong again, coming through towards the right-hander. Vickery just getting around him. Getting a bit of a tank slapper going into that as they side-by-side going towards the hairpin now.
You wouldn't know those guys were teammates, would you?
Yeah, I know, right? Even if it's just for one event. But anyway, they're side by side as they come towards the final turn. Elliott Smith got the inside line, but Tyler Vickery keeping him wound up on the high side. There is Mark Arthur trying to go with Elliott Smith.
And Vickery doing the wise thing, giving those guys plenty of room, knowing that it's still way too early to be pushing that hard.
Absolutely, gets it almost wrong going over the rumble strips. He's got Travis Brown right behind him now. Adam Jocelyn is not far behind either in that number 83 machine. He's just following them up the hill as he's waiting for something to happen between these guys right now. As that, and it's already happening. Vickery getting it all wrong as they go towards the right-hander down the hill towards the hairpin.
And he's going to lose a couple more spots as they come through the short chute leading into the S's. That's Corey Henry all over his back bumper right now, and it looks like Vickery has taken at least one shot to that rear bumper.
Yeah, I believe that was from Travis Brown on the uphill section of the track. As now Vickery down to the last spot in the top 10. Needs to kind of recollect himself here. We know how stressed he can get behind that wheel, and it can also fall apart for him. But we just need him to just rest, settle down, and just run his race. And yeah, good things will happen in the end. Meanwhile, let's go back to Spencer Preet, who's not getting away from Michael Koza Jr. right now.
Not really a shocker there, as the two of them are actually starting to gap Andrew Frazier.
Absolutely, Cozy keeping him honest there, as the gap is about 0.6 of a second between the 77 and the 27. Frazier, as you rightly said, is right there. He's already 2 seconds to the good over Carl Gilbert, who's also 2 seconds to the good over Marcus Hagman.
And the one thing I would like to point out is your top three right now are the only three cars to go sub 1 minute 20 here tonight in qualifying.
Absolutely, that would be the drivers of Spencer Preet and Michael Koza Jr. Tyler Vickery actually getting settled down now. He's actually trying to make a move on Corey Henry. Oh, Travis Brown, I will say. Travis Brown looks like he's struggling as well. He's lost a couple of positions too.
Brown got it all wrong coming up the hill. As they crested the hill, he kind of wasn't happy. I'm thinking he may have gotten a slowdown there.
Yeah, he's now chasing down Adam Jocelyn. Jocelyn moved himself up to P8, benefiting. Oh, as Jocelyn goes off towards the hairpin, collects it up, but that's going to let Travis Brown on the outside.
And Brown kind of lets him back through, knowing that it's way too early to be running that hard. Going to cross him over, though, coming through the hairpin.
Still not going to get the position away from Jocelyn, as Travis Brown now has to settle behind the 83 as they complete another lap. We're already on lap 4 of 65, so this race is going rather quickly already, Tony.
And for those of you who think Sam Cooper Bennett just jinxed the entire event, go ahead and get your hate mail coming to P.O. Box 8675309, Dublin, Ireland.
Absolutely. As thankfully there are no full course cautions here except for the competition cautions, so yeah, not everyone's going to die tonight. Let's go back to Hunter King is already on pit road. So is James Bunce. Bunce has been in the wars. Not sure what happened to him, but he's already in pit road. Adam Jocelyn. Going to go back to this battle between Jocelyn, Brown and Vickery, as it looks like Travis Brown has finally got around the 83 and is already starting to pull away, Tony.
To answer your question about Bunce, he collected one of those tire barriers coming through the hairpin, you know, the tire barriers that don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, he headlonged into one of those.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Go back to Vickery there as he's trying to put a move on Jocelyn. Jocelyn not going to give it to him that easily. Pinches him a bit going for the hairpin, but gets a slide out, and that's going to let Tyler Vickery kind of running him on the exit, the hairpin towards the final corner. Going to make a pass on the outside. And it looks like Vickery's going to get the position, and he does. Great move there from the 24.
Well, part of that was Brown and Jocelyn just beating the hell out of each other coming through the short chute before the S's. They not only banged doors, that they tried to become one with each other at least once. And I'm thinking that may have rattled Jocelyn's cage.
Yeah, and that one mistake helped Tyler Vickery to get through it, as well as Travis Brown getting more air than a skateboard at the X Games going through that right-hander just then. Sorry.
I'm thinking Jocelyn is probably, he's either trying to or he's just way over driving that little downhill section before the short chute to the S's, because he almost just ran Vickery flat over.
Thankfully, Tyler Vickery just starting to get away from the 83 now, as he now focuses on the 0-1 and Travis Brown. Brown is also struggling in that 0-1 machine, as Vickery's got to dive bomb it into the hairpin. If he can make this stick, it'll be a great move for the 24, and he does. What a move there by Tyler Vickery.
If he didn't get a slowdown, I'll be surprised. Because he was hugging that inside. Looks like he didn't get a slowdown. Wow.
So we could just actually call that a fantastic move there by Tyler.
Yeah, and get your affairs in order.
Oh, no!
He turned him.
Travis Brown
Definitely
turns Tyler Vickery.
He turned him. There was no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes about it. He turned him.
And let's go back and watch that. That was a bit inconspicuous there. But you see him just diving in, going in the uphill section, and just absolutely drove right into the 24. Gives him another nudge on the front quarter panel for good measure. Jocelyn goes round as well.
Well, Jocelyn caught the back end of Vickery as Vickery got punted from the front.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that the league admins are probably going to want to take a look at.
Absolutely. As we're seeing Vickery there just right behind Tex Perry now, the league owner, just running his own race right now, and it looks like Tyler Vickery is not a happy person behind the wheel of that number 24. He's hustling and harrying behind that number 85 machine already. Go back up to the front there. Spencer Preet still being kept honest by Michael Cozy Jr. Cozy is literally just 0.8 of a second behind the 27. But yeah, the gap's not really getting bigger between those two right now.
No, because it's not go time yet. But if you take a look back to third, there's over 7.5 seconds from Spencer Preet to Adam Frazier.
Yeah, and there's 8 seconds between Preet and Frazier, and there's 7.2 seconds between Cozy and Frazier. So that's just showing you the level that they're racing on right now. Cozy and Preet, they're just on another level compared to, I mean, even the guy up in third place right now.
And you know, you take a look back further. You know, Kyle Gilbert's no slouch. Period. You know, he's another 5 seconds back.
Yeah, is he just
Frazier? So you know, it's there's a huge difference, and Sonoma's one of those tracks that it's very technical, and it really magnifies the difference between the haves and have-nots as far as road racing prowess.
Yeah, and it's another one that will punish you if you get it wrong. We've already seen that with James Bunce having that big off here tonight. Nice comment there, Tony. As we're looking at Gilbert just throwing that 227 around the track. The last lap he actually went off wide in that fast right-hander before the hairpin, so he is trying desperately to get up to the back of Frazier, but the way he's throwing it around the track, and around he goes. Gilbert almost losing it down that right-hander, but saves it going into the S's.
And just so you know, I just got flipped off by Byron Rodney's wife.
Nice. Well, Byron, if you're interested in joining us in the booth, then the TeamSpeak address is on the chat, so yeah, just come in and join us if you want to. I do believe Nate Siefka is going to be joining us, but he'll be here a bit late. So,
all right.
We've got a stacked lineup in the booth tonight. Depends if they turn up or not. Everybody really spread out right now. Tex Perry has been passed by Tyler Vickery. Vickery already... Sorry.
He's catching Corey Henry right now at a very rapid pace.
Yeah, as Travis Brown is in pit road. So green flag pit stops underway already?
Don't know. It's surprising if it is.
He just made his way
I'm not seeing any. Oh no, there's a ton of damage on that car.
Yeah, I think that was from the incident with Vickery, though. That's where he got that damage from. But maybe
good possibility.
Maybe he's just going to do a bit of pit farming, maybe just to get rid of some of that damage. But speaking of damage and damage limitation, Tyler Vickery driving the wheels off that 24 to try and get to the back of Corey Henry. Almost did it through the hairpin, but lost a bit of time after getting a bit of a slide on the exit. Now he's back on the loud pedal again, and he's slowly reeling in the number 25 right now.
You're at the wrong end of the track, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Hairpins at pit in.
No, that was on the last lap, I mean.
Oh.
Yeah. As they're making their way towards that part of the track now, as they're going through the S's. Towards this very deceiving right-hander, where if you get it wrong, it will just spear you straight into the tyre wall.
You're not wrong, because that corner is very deceptive. You go into it thinking you can carry way more speed than you can. As Vickery, almost collects the 25 of Henry going through the hairpin.
Great save there by Vickery. Just up ahead of them, Mark McSweeney in the Hooters number 17. One of the bad luck kids of the league, always having bad runs lately, but seems to be doing better on the road courses here tonight.
That's a top 10 going, so kind of impressive there so far.
Yeah, I believe he's Australian, so he's the resident Aussie here.
True story.
That's, I think that's 2 leagues now we've got a resident Aussie.
Actually, I'm looking through the entry list. Adam Frazier, also from down under.
So Andrew Frazier, the Aussie, he's just about to put a lap on the number 75 of, I believe that is, 76, sorry, of Marshall Newton.
And our friend Marcus Hagman in the 099 is from Scandinavia. So an international field here tonight at Pierce Point, Sonoma.
Different names, same track. As I've just noticed Adam Jocelyn is behind the wall, so that damage you were talking about on Travis Brown. No, actually Jocelyn spun before they got to Travis. He was in that incident with Tyler Vickery, but Adam Jocelyn from that incident with Travis Brown and Tyler Vickery decided to put his car behind the wall.
Not sure what's going on there. It's good news for Bunce. He's not going to lose all the points tonight with that oops that he had coming through the hairpin earlier. But he's going to need a miracle to get it back up there.
Yeah, that car looks like it's been hit by a train.
Not wrong.
Meanwhile, back in the front, Spade Sapri. The gap between those two has got even closer now as... I can't help but think that later on in this race, this is going to be down between... It's going to come down between one of these two to get the win, because Cozy looking for another win on the season after winning, I believe, he won at Iowa? No. No, he won...
Bristol. No, that wasn't... No, that was
Mark
Arthur won at Bristol.
He won one recently, I can't remember. I think it was Kansas, actually. Kansas.
Sure, we'll go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with that. No, it was it was actually Gilbert that won at Kansas. I was wrong. I'll go back and look at it in a minute. But anyway, the gap between the 27 and the 77, throw a blanket over these two because they are right together right now as they're closing in on their teammate Travis Brown to put a lap on him.
Well, Brown is struggling right now. And it all has to do with him. He bombed it in there coming up the hill, and the front end of that car has seen better days. So you got to wonder, did he get into the suspension components when he got into the back of Vickery as hard as he did?
As Michael Cozy is already trying to make moves, and Spencer Preet tried to get the inside line to work in the hairpin. Lost a bit of the... Spencer Preet grazes the wall coming across the line. No, Preet looks like he might be struggling on tyres because Cozy is all over the back fender of that 27 right now.
And that goes back to what we were talking about in the pre-races, tire conservation. Can you get the tires to last all 15 laps of this segment as we're working lap 13 of 15 right now?
So stage 1 nearly in the books, and I think Cozy realises that now as he's starting to put his foot down. They are 2 laps away from the end of stage 1. Almost. And I think Preet's starting to realise that too as he's starting to put his foot down now. everybody really spread out except for Mark McSweeney and Corey Henry. McSweeney, Corey Henry's starting to close in on him. There's no two ways about that, and Tyler Vickery's there too. We could have a 3-car battle here for P8 very soon if things keep going as they are. But the question is, do Corey Henry and Tyler Vickery have enough time before the end of the stage to actually get a pass on him right now?
Well, if Mark McSweeney has another couple of corners like he just did coming into the uphill section, those guys are going to reel him in very quickly. You know, he was using a ton of curbing, which, especially in this car, will beat the ever-loving hell out of you and the vehicle if you do it one too many times.
Oh yeah, the suspension on the non-existent suspension on a stock car will not last if you keep running over the bumps like that.
And I know a lot of these guys are happy that, you know, one of the few things that as Vickery dives it to the inside, they actually thinks better of it. Oh, he got into Henry's head.
Oh, as he gets the inside line to work. Tyler Vickery up to P9 now, so already back up into the top 10. I don't know what
he got into Henry's head. If you saw that whole thing play out, that was just cerebral assassination on Vickery's part.
Well, let's go back and watch that from the last 30 seconds. You see Vickery just thinking he's making Corey Henry think he's going to take the inside line. Corey Henry trying to defend the line, but spun the tyres going into the hairpin and just ran that thing wide, left the door wide open for Vickery, and Vickery just says, thank you very much. P9 is mine now. And already Vickery working on the back of Mark McSweeney.
As we are on the last lap of this segment, Preet and Cozy have just flat checked out on the field.
Yeah, 18 seconds to the good over Andrew Fraser, who's there in third place. But Spencer Preet and Michael Cozy, they're going to race it to the flag right here, as they are pretty much halfway around the lap now. And they're right behind Travis Brown. Can their teammate come be the factor here of who gets the stage win? Might be the case here, as it looks like Preet is actually going to get held up behind the 0-1.
Well, the thing is, if you take a look at the back bumpers of those three cars, you'll notice that the 0-1 has red tape on the back bumper. Preet is blue and Cozy is green. Means that Preet and Cozy have official road racing experience in the iRacing sim.
Oh!
Oh!
Hold on to it, kid!
Just barely missing the cone.
Yeah, Spencer Preet, after that mistake by Michael Cozy, is going to be handed the stage win as he comes around the final corner, and stage 1 will go to Spencer Preet here at Sonoma. At least I think it will.
Good.
There we go.
There's the caution. But, you know, if you look, like I was getting back to, you know, you've got red on the Travis Brown back bumper, you've got blue on Spencer Preet's, and you've got green on Mike Cozy. That means Mike Cozy and Spencer Preet both have official iRacing road racing experience, which in a situation like this is going to just play huge dividends.
Absolutely.
I mean, you and I have both run some official road races, Sam, and it just gets, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Dumpster fire-esque at times.
Yeah, sometimes. Anyway, let's go to our top 10 at the end of stage 1. Spencer Preet coming home with the stage win. Michael Cozy Jr. in second. Andrew Fraser in third. Kyle Gilbert in fourth. Elliott Smith rounding out the top 5. Marcus Hagman coming home for sixth. Mark Arthur in 7th, Mark McSweeney in 8th, Tyler Vickery 9th after putting that really huge move on Corey Henry, who comes around in 10th. Well, that's the end of stage 1. We are just going to step away for a second and take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hey, what's up, guys? Scott Speed here at the iRacing headquarters. Some exciting news about the upcoming Rallycross World Championship. They've got a wild card entry, and yours truly is going to get that spot. See you guys out on the track.
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a
You want to race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR Ignite Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
And you are joining us live here at Sonoma for the Major League eSports Catalyst Mint Series. Stage 1 is in the books, as we've already mentioned, and Spencer Preet just running away with Stage 1. Well, not completely running away with Stage 1. It's
Preet and Cozy together.
Yeah. But Cozy's actually Cozy winning the race off pit road. So he's going to be starting back up at the point. McSweeney did stay out, but he is just taking the pit side now, so getting a point for leading a lap, so good for him. But Cozy, yeah, winning the race off pit road, so that's going to work in his favour, especially seeing as he was like all over the back of Preet for the longest time.
I don't think Sweeney got credit for leading that lap.
Oh, that's
At least
true.
not according to the official timing and scoring screen. He did not get credit for it.
Find out. No, he didn't. He didn't get credit for it. That must really suck.
Not wrong. And Andrew Frazier had me an abysmal stop.
Yeah, falling all the way back to P7. That's promoted Kyle Gilbert up to the top 3 spot, as he's going to now have a chance to have a stab at Spencer Preet on the restart. Not sure if this is single file restarts or double file restarts. It's going to be single file restarts because the lights are already off in the pace car.
Fair enough.
So we're going for IndyCar style restarts tonight here at Sonoma. They had that in the Paskies League last night as well at the Watkins Glen. So not the first time I've seen that this week.
Also, not the first time we've seen single file or standing starts this week.
Absolutely. They're just getting ready to get them going again. They're just making their way towards the hairpin there. Tony, get us going again, man.
Pace car peels off, and Cozy's going to have control of the field. Preet trying to try to get a run on him, try to time this just right. Cozy holding them down still as they work their way into that little kink, and we are back live at Sonoma.
Spencer Preet already on the rear fender of Michael Cozy.
Hagman just got into Arthur.
Oh,
and came out on the losing end of it.
Let's go back and watch that. You see Hagman and Arthur right there on the restart, just going around the hairpin. Let's see what happens. They all get stacked up when they get held up by Cozy, going towards the final corner.
Elliott Smith missed a shift, so they split him, and yeah, all hell broke loose.
Going into turn one, and yeah, Hagman coming off as the loser in that hit in the barrier. Hagman going around and really coming off in the losing under that, but he's still in P10 amazingly. As we're going to go back to the Michael Cozy Jr., who's flat checked out already a second to the good over Spencer Preet. Oh, and Gilbert's off. And I did mention that earlier, that right-hander before the hairpin, if you get that wrong, it will hurt you. And Gilbert has just found that out firsthand, Tony.
As he gets into the back of Arthur, able to hang on. Here comes Smith in the 91 as well, as they bang fenders one more time, coming through the kink across the start-finish line.
Absolutely, as Gilbert getting out of shape, going up the hill. Still holds on to it, though, as Andrew Fraser is already back up to P6, taking the position away from Tyler Vickery. Actually, no, he took the position away from Hagman after he spun, so promoted by default up to P6, but Fraser senses blood in the water as he knows that Gilbert now has a wounded car.
I don't know how... Oh! Elliott Smith getting it all wrong coming through the short chute.
He's taking a lot of that rumble strip as he's going through the corners.
And that's the problem when you try to swing wide, you're going to go across that curb, and if you don't time your throttle inputs just right, you're going around, and you're going around very quickly. So great job for Elliott Smith to hang on to that one.
As you see him there just behind Kyle Gilbert, one lap ago. Gilbert went straight off the track as Fraser around and Vickery's into him. Tyler Vickery getting caught up in another dumpster fire. What has that guy got to do to stay away from these things?
I can answer that question, but nobody's going to like the answer.
He's going to have to sacrifice somebody.
No, I was thinking just not race as aggressively.
Almost loses again coming across the line, but saving grace for Tyler Vickery is that he's still in the top 10, but that damage on his car is really going to make it uncomfortable for the next, 3/4 of a lap?
Well, that's what he's got to do is right now. He's just got to get refocused and let those tires cool off a little bit, because he lit those rear tires up pretty good, getting that car pointed back in the right direction.
Absolutely. It's Andrew Fraser able to keep it going as well. He's 2 spots ahead of Vickery and Hagman. Another man that's been in the wars on that restart. He is back up and running again, and he's already ahead of Vickery. You see Travis Brown in the background struggling slightly as they come down towards the S's. Still got that damage on the front end of his car. Travis Brown not having the best of nights tonight.
There's a lot of guys not having the best of nights tonight, and it all boils down to how much road racing experience do you have. One of the things I would like to point out, and it's something we were talking about before the end of the first segment, count the red bumpers, Sam.
Red bumpers?
Red bumpers.
Oh yeah, lots of rookies in here.
Right, which means that a lot of these guys have not run official iRacing road races, or they don't have a vast experience in those official sessions. So, you know, and you we're telling the difference right now between the haves and the have-nots. As you take a look at Cozy and Preet, you know, they're 10 seconds to the good over third place, and we're only lap 3 of this segment.
And Michael Cozy Jr. is still 1.3 seconds to the good over Spencer Preet. And this is just telling the truth of the speed of Michael Cozy. Remember, in the first stage, he was all over the back of Spencer Preet, and now he's been released into first place. He's actually able to use that speed, and it looks like he's slowly starting to get away from Preet.
Yeah, he is, and you know, Michael Cozy has a lot of road racing experience. Don't let the fact that it's a green bumper, not a blue bumper, fool you. The fact that it's a green bumper means that he's been in some wars on the road courses.
Absolutely, as he makes his way down the hill towards the right-hander before the short shoot. Mark McSweeney's put his car behind the wall. So all those nice things I was just saying about him. I might have put a jinx on him. So Mark McSweeney
Might have.
Yeah. Let's see what happened to him. That's Fraser right behind him. Fraser got into the back of him. McSweeney went around. McSweeney decided not to go in again and decides to tow it instead and put his car behind the wall. So a pretty minor incident there for McSweeney, but still decides to give it up regardless.
Well, you know, probably wasn't having the best run to begin with.
As we go back to the battle for the lead between McSweeney and Preet, as it is a battle now.
Vickery gets it all wrong going into the S's.
The Vickery is absolutely not having a good time right now. And this is the stress levels that we've been talking about with Tyler Vickery. If he gets rattled behind that wheel, it all just goes downhill for the 24. He just needs to calm down at this point. Making his way towards the hairpin there. He is back down in P11. And while we were speaking about a lap or two ago, Tyler Vickery did spin it coming towards the hairpin as well. That's how he dropped out of the top 10. So Vickery really struggling at this point, and that damage on his 24 really, really hurting him right now. As he is 3 seconds behind Doug Thompson, a man we've not really mentioned tonight in that number 13, holding on to the last spot in the top 10.
Oh! Kyle Gilbert just got it all wrong going into the S's. Holy Christmas.
Let's go back and watch that. Right-hander towards the short shoot. He's got Elliott Smith right behind him. Now to the hairpin before the S's.
Rip the rear end out of that car.
Oh no. Gilbert having the worst luck there and just getting it all wrong for the S's, as Tony just mentioned. And just, yeah, that back end is sitting about a few inches lower than it should be.
2 inches lower and about a foot to the left more than it should be.
Yeah, he's not the rear axle out of that, isn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's probably the weakest point in a truck arm car like these are. And for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, it's a 2-link rear suspension where it's just an I-beam on each side of the car, just inboard of the rear tires. And they call them truck arms because they're based on the first generation C10s from or full-size pickups like Chevy had out. Chevy GMC, that sort of idea.
what happened to Corey Henry, because he's just put his car behind the wall. Let's go and see what happened to him. He's all on his own here. Runs wide going into the short shoot, and oh, his connection dropped, so nothing really happened to Henry, just lost connection. Anyway, back to the racing, as we have got a battle for the lead, as Spencer Preet has caught up to the back of his teammate Michael Cozy.
He's caught him, but the question is, can he get by him cleanly?
Catching is one thing and passing is completely another, as my hero Murray Walker used to say all the time.
Not wrong.
You see the 27 there, and the Napa Auto Parts number 27. That's the Chase Elliott scheme, isn't it, on a K&N car?
Yeah.
It kind of looks better on a K&N car than it does on a Chevy Camaro.
Yeah. I'm gonna not comment on this only because I enjoy having a regular paycheck.
Yeah, as you
Those
see,
of you for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, I actually work at Napa.
Anyway, Spencer Preet is right on the rear fender of Michael Cozy, as we are actually closing in on the end of stage 2, so quite rightly so, Spencer Preet actually decided to put the foot down now and is really putting Cozy under pressure now.
I'm thinking Preet was trying to figure out what he can do to save tires and what type of pace he can do, as they're getting ready to put a lap on Tex Perry right now. So Perry in 11th, currently your last car on the lead lap, or was. Make that was.
Into the hairpin at the back of the field. They go in towards the S's. Spencer Preet right there.
And Perry driving the only Dodge in the field tonight, I might want to point out too.
Absolutely. It doesn't hurt to be different, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't hurt to be different. As I did hear, apparently Dodge's former parent company, Chrysler, are in a bit of trouble.
A bit of trouble?
Yeah, apparently they're on the verge of being closed down by Fiat.
Shocking.
Yeah. Obviously they're owned by Fiat, and Fiat are getting sick and tired of them losing money, and Fiat are about to close the doors on Chrysler. Dodge, thankfully, are their own standalone company, so...
They're owned by Fiat as well.
Oh.
It's just Dodge is selling more vehicles because of their truck brand being as popular as it is over here in the States. That
good old Ram.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we are 2 laps away from the end of stage 2. Preet's getting it almost wide, coming out of that right-hander towards the chute. Almost collecting the wall. So having to back out of it for a second.
Tell me Preet's not trying his butt off right now, and I'll call you a liar to your face.
He's not trying his butt off?
You're a liar.
Yeah, Preet trying to get that second stage win. Cozy getting a bit of a slide in. The S is there. Preet also getting a bit of a slide, so they're both pushing like mad to get this.
Getting ready to come to the white flag for this segment.
Around the hairpin they go. Preet ever closer this time round, right on that rear fender of that number 77. Trying to find a gap through, doesn't find it this time round, as he's got one more lap to try and get stage 2 win, and not having it all his own way, Spencer Preet. I think this is the most under pressure we've seen Spencer Preet all season.
Not wrong, but the other thing too, Sam, is take a look at the attitude of these cars as these guys pull the trigger coming out of the corners. You know, that's just all weight transfer with the fact that front end's just riding so high as they get on it and pull the trigger.
Absolutely. You see when the corner, the front end just ducks down towards the tarmac. You'll get a better example here as they come into the hairpin. See when he's up to speed, the front end just lifts off the ground, but when he's braking for a hard corner like the one they've just been round, the front end of the car just sinks into the ground, and that helps the nose just to come around the corner as easily as they made it look just there.
Both of them with a little bit of Tokyo Drift action coming through the S's.
As they come round that right-hander, coming up on James Bunce to put another lap on him. As they come towards the hairpin, last chance, do or die moment here for Spencer Preet. Preet's going to try and get a nose in on the inside of the hairpin. Not going to make it work. Oh, Bunce gets into Preet. Preet gets damage from that. And that's going to hand the stage to Michael Cozy Jr. Stage 2 is complete, and Michael Cozy Jr. just handed the win there. So Bunce getting it all wrong in the hairpin again. And just, yeah, collected Preet in the process. Anyway, that is the end of stage 2. Michael Cozy Jr. getting the stage win from Spencer Preet, who comes on in second after Preet got collected by James Bunce. Mark Arthur third, Elliott Smith fourth, Andrew Fraser fifth, Marcus Hagman sixth, seventh is Travis Brown. Tyler Vickery rebounding for P8, so good recovery from the 24. Ninth is Doug Thompson, and rounding out the top 10 after his incident and getting the final point is Kyle Gilbert. What were you about to say there, Tony?
That was 100% net code between Bunce and Preet, because I could have walked my fat, crippled ass between those two cars.
Yeah,
on my crutches.
Yeah, just want to give a special mention to Tyler Vickery. Had all those incidents at the start of stage 2, fell back out of the top 10, and somehow managed to claw his way back into the top 10 again. So more stage points there for the 24.
And it doesn't look like he's burned his fast repair yet either. So might have something for these guys if he can keep his head about him.
Absolutely is. They've not even caught the pace car yet, so while they are in the process of catching the pace car, we are going to go for yet another commercial break because I'm a lazy sod. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hey, what's up, guys? Godspeed here at the iRacing headquarters. Some exciting news about the upcoming Rallycross World Championship. They've got a wild card entry, and yours truly is going to get that spot. See you guys out on the track.
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a
You want to race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR at Night Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
And you join us here live from Wine Country in Southern California. Lights are still on the pace car. Michael Cozy Jr. is still leading this thing after incidents happening at the end of stage 1. Extra long yellow flag run here at Sonoma. So while we are under caution here, just going to grab a quick word with one of the drivers. And the driver I want to speak to right now is Mr. Spencer Preet. Spencer, you got Sam up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
I got you.
Well, Spencer, what can I say about you tried so hard to get the win at stage 2. If it wasn't for that incident with James Bunce at the end, would you have had him?
Probably not. He, although depending on which way Bunce would have slid, maybe it would have hindered Cozy's ability to get off of the hairpin, but he had it pretty much. I was making up too much ground from the start. I kind of slacked off at the beginning of the run, and since the stage kind of got delayed to start, we didn't have as much time for me to make up, and yeah, he had it either way. It's just, it sucked that it almost completely came to an end because of the damage I got and then popping the motor, rolling around, but...
Well, you're still keeping it going, and you're still second behind Cozy, but looking forward to the rest of the race now. It seems like you and Cozy have got the edge on the rest of the field. What are your thoughts going on to the rest of the race, and do you have anything for Cozy to try and get the win here tonight?
I think we're really even. I think, if anything, he might be a little smoother than me. I think I might have a little bit more in it in a lap, like putting down a quick time, but I think he's a lot more consistent, so it kind of levels out. So it's probably going to come down to our pit stops. To be honest, that's probably going to be the biggest difference maker in being able to get in and out, and how we decide when to pit and what we decide to do on pit road is probably going to be the difference.
Okay, Spencer. Well, the lights are off on the pace car. We're about to go green again. I'll wish you luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you in the post-race interviews.
Thank you.
That was Spencer Preet. Doesn't sound very happy at this point in the race, but definitely eager to get him going again and hopefully bring home the win here tonight at Sonoma. But he's going to have it all to do, as he already mentioned. It looks like Cozy might have the slight edge on him going through the corners, but we'll find out right here, right now, as we're just coming towards the hairpin again to get stage 3 underway here at Sonoma. Pace car peels off there as they make their way through the hairpin once again. As holds him down. Cozy gets him going again, and Pre already on the back of the 77. He's not wasting any time. He wants to get around that 77 as quickly as possible. Up the hill they go. And Pre can't find a way around. Still on the rear fender. Elliott Smith is right there too. As no, Elliott Smith runs a bit wide going up the hill. And that's going to let Mark Arthur back up into third place. Mark Arthur losing a couple of spots in the pit stops during the caution, but made his way back up into the top three very quickly, pouncing on the mistake by Smith. And Smith already under pressure from Andrew Fraser, who's right there. Tyler Vickery also there too. And Marcus Hagman there too. He's actually survived. He's actually survived getting past the first corner, has the big Swede. As there goes Fraser to the inside of Elliott Smith. Smith losing the position now and has dropped to the tail end of the top five and is already under pressure from Tyler Vickery. See what Vickery can do here as they make their way towards the hairpin through that fast right-hander. Gonna try and dive it in as they go into the hairpin now. Vickery's alongside him. He might actually have the run here. Does he get it going on the exit of the pit? The hairpin? No, he doesn't. Elliott Smith just getting the better run there. And Smith's losing it for the final corner. Almost lost it for the final corner. Vickery doing the right thing and backing off there. Can't back off too much as he's got Gilbert and Hagman right behind him. Hagman under pressure himself from Kyle Gilbert. Gilbert having to use his fast repair in the end under that caution, as he had a ton of damage on that 227. He dives it in on the 099 and takes away that P8 position, P7, sorry. Great move there from Gilbert as he is moving his way back up through the field. We've got Travis Brown behind the wall as well, so obviously him not having the best of times here tonight, deciding to end his night early, as we're still watching Kyle Gilbert here trying to put Tyler Vickery under pressure. Takes a very unconventional line going for the S's. That's going to help Vickery get away slightly. Question is, can Vickery get up to the back of Elliott Smith as Gilbert gets another slide going for the S's towards that fast right-hander which caught him out earlier. Takes a bit too much curb going there. Almost loses the back end again. Going towards the hairpin now. Is he going to dive it in on Vickery? He's going to try as slides it in but doesn't get enough of it. Vickery gets away with it. Arthur just lost the position to Andrew Fraser there. Let's go back and see what happened to Arthur there, as he was way ahead of Fraser at one point. Coming down towards the hairpin, going through the fast right-hander. Breaks it down for the hairpin. He just gets it wrong. Fraser getting a better run into the hairpin. Arthur almost losing the back end. And losing P3 to Fraser now. As now Arthur's under pressure from Elliott Smith and almost hits the barrier. Elliott Smith is in the inside of Mark Arthur, and there Arthur loses another position as there goes Gilbert as well. Gilbert actually backing off. What happened to Gilbert? I think he must have had a slowdown because he lost a ton of positions there. Mark Arthur, the man that was having the most trouble there, is he lost another position there to Elliott Smith after Arthur had to back off going towards the short chute as he almost collected the tyre barrier. Here comes Tyler Vickery now to try and put a move on Arthur that doesn't make it work, unfortunately. And this is where it's getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We're like 27 laps to go. Here as Vickery gets a slide going through that long right-hander at the top of the hill. Not quite at the top of the hill. He's got to go up another flight of steps. As Arthur getting it all wrong through there. Vickery's going to be invited in again. Doesn't make the move this time round. Go to the right-hander down the short chute. Arthur running wide again, almost collecting the barrier again. On the tyre wall as Vickery trying to forcing an inside line there on the 12. Doesn't make it work as he's now got Gilbert right on his rear fender. Gilbert getting a bit out of shape for the S's. We're going to stick with this battle between Arthur and Vickery. This is very entertaining to see. So Arthur running a bit wide for the hairpin. Vickery going to try and get another run on him as they go towards the final corner. Doesn't make it work again as he has to file in behind the 12. So it's now a 3-car battle as Gilbert joins onto the back of that. This is a battle for 5th place we're watching right now. Arthur getting a bit of a tank slapper coming out of the corner. Into that sweeping left-hander towards that corner at the top of the hill. There we go. As Arthur gets it wrong again. There goes Tyler Vickery to the inside. Tyler Vickery up to the top 5 now. Arthur making another mistake. As there goes Gilbert. Big jump over the curb. Wow. Let's go back and watch that. That was awesome. See Vickery making his move on the inside there. Gilbert taking all of the curb and all 4 wheels off the ground. Wow. Gilbert able to keep in it though, as he's still right behind Mark Arthur. Vickery already trying to get away from the 12 as he's now going to try and hunt down Elliott Smith. Well, back at the front. That's how close it is between our leaders, Michael Cozy Jr. and Spencer Preet. 1 and 2 right now. 2 wheels off the ground there for the 77. That's going to cost him a slight bit of time to Preet as they make their way towards the right-hander, towards the short shoot, and he gets 2 wheels off the ground again. Mike's running over those curbs, does Cozy. That's the battle between the top 2, but the battle is still on for the top 5 there. Tyler Vickery almost a second to the good over Mark Arthur, so the battle for 6th is still there. Gilbert going to make a dive to the inside at the hairpin. Can he get the position? No. Arthur getting a better run, goes over the curbs. Arthur able to hold on to P6 as it stands right now. Still on there between the 2 drivers as Gilbert almost gets a slide going for the second to last corner. Can he dive it in going into the hairpin? He tries to. Arthur going to shut the door. There's almost contact between Arthur and Gilbert. Gilbert trying to lock him down to try and avoid him, and thankfully did. That cost him a bit of time to the 12 as Gilbert almost gets it wrong across the line. This battle is now fizzled out all of a sudden. Arthur able to get away from Gilbert after Gilbert making some more mistakes. Gilbert really driving the wheels off that double 2-7. Sliding around like it's an ice rink. Meanwhile, Tyler Vickery now has caught up to the back of Elliott Smith. See what he can do here. He tried to make a move on Smith a few laps ago, but unable to get past, and he was minding the battle between him, Arthur and Gilbert after Arthur dropped back. Elliott Smith getting a bit of a slide going through the second to last corner. Vickery not going to make the move just yet. He's a bit too far behind, but Smith runs a bit wide. That's going to let Vickery on the inside. They're side by side as they come out of the hairpin. Now Smith able to lives to fight another day. This battle still raging on between the 91 and the 24. Smith running a bit wide, but Vickery taking a bit too deep of a line going through that corner. Sweeping left-hander now to the top of the hill. Vickery getting a much better run as he makes his way towards the right-hander, towards the short shoot. Not going to make it happen this time. Battle for fourth place really heating up as Vickery almost gets into the back of Smith. In towards the S's. They go. And Vickery get ahead of Elliott Smith there as they make their way towards the second to last corner. Smith getting a bit of a slide there as they make their entrance into the corner. Vickery going to get a run here as they go towards the hairpin. Can Smith hold him off? Vickery going to try the outside line here. Doesn't quite make it work as they still stay in the same positions and complete another lap. We are 22 laps to go here at Sonoma. Showing a lot of exciting action here, mainly between these two guys, and that is the main battle between them right now. Gilbert, meanwhile, has finally got around Mark Arthur. He's already 5 seconds to the good over the 12, who is now all on his own. Still holding on to a decent 7th position though, Mark Arthur. But unfortunately, might have to relinquish the championship lead right here as Spencer Preet is way out in front. Albeit not in the lead though. He's in second place, but 0.6 of a second only behind Michael Costa Jr., who still leads this thing. He's led 26 laps of the race so far. Cozy running slightly wide. It's going to give a small bit of a gap to Preet. Preet gets a bit of a slide coming out of the hairpin. These guys are already 16 seconds to the good over Andrew Fraser, who's there in third place. Not having any issues so far. He does have some right side damage, but not really hurting him too much as he makes his way up the hill now. The gap between Fraser and Smith is just about 8 seconds, as you can see on the graphic on your screen right there. Back to the battle between Elliott Smith and Tyler Vickery. Vickery still trying to find a way around the 91. Not able to make it work so far. Go through the right-hander towards the hairpin. Elliott Smith still got the position as Elliott Smith gets it all wrong on the exit. That's going to let Tyler Vickery get a run in him onto the hairpin. Going to choose the outside line again. Elliott Smith, another slide for the hairpin. Vickery runs wide. Gilbert runs wide as well. Wow. Interesting racing, but Elliott Smith getting away with it by the skin of his teeth. He just manages to hold on to that position from Vickery after Vickery made the same mistake into the hairpin. Just getting a bit of a slide on as Elliott Smith taking a wider line through the uphill section. Vickery still...
Both those cars look like they've seen better days as Vickery gets into the back of him.
Yeah, absolutely. As welcome back, Tony. Wow, we've seen some exciting racing while you've been away. Gilbert's getting the award for the highest air mile so far, as he took all 4 wheels off the ground as he went through the short shoot corner.
It looks like under that last caution, he actually did burn his fast repair finally.
Yeah, as he gets a slide going for the S's. Slide for life. Yeah, Mark Arthur dropping the biggest loser after the restart, dropping from 3rd all the way back to 7th. But yeah, the lack of experience he has on road course is really starting to tell now, as he is falling back into the hands of Doug Thompson, it seems now. Doug Thompson there, all on his own in P8. And I don't know what happened to Marcus Hagman, but he's dropped all the way back to P9. He was fighting with Mark Arthur, Gilbert, Vickery and Elliott Smith on the restart. He has got some heavy front end damage, so I'm guessing he must have gone off somewhere. But still sitting in P9. Hunter King is a man that we've not mentioned at all in this race so far, the #1 driver. Just running his own race. He is 1 lap down completely from the leaders. Only 9 cars left on the lead lap, Tony. Cozy and Spencer Preet really putting on a clinic as they're nose to tail now, coming towards the hairpin. And look who's right in front of them again, Tony.
Yeah. And Preet making it look just that easy.
So Preet to the inside and Preet to the point as we now have a new leader again. And Bunce realising that he needs to get the hell out of the way this time, as now Preet taking advantage of that, moving himself up to the point, and now he has a chance to try and get away from Cozy, but as he proved in the first stage, it's not all that easy.
Not all that easy, and you got to remember this stage is going to be longer. You know, as we're racing to lap 65 now, so 15, 15, and 35, so just past double. We're probably going to need to see a green flag pit stop before this one's over.
That we will, as that will probably be the difference between Preet and Cozy, to see who can actually claim this victory tonight, as Cozy gets it a bit wrong going for the S's, and that's going to hand some more time to Preet as he starts to stretch his legs now. Cozy looking at getting a bit out of shape for the S's there. He looks slightly rattled there.
A little bit. Not sure if he's just worn all the goodie off his tires, or if he is actually struggling handling wise.
He gets a slide going into the hairpin. Not able to get any closer. Is that me, or has he got a slight bit of damage on the rear end of his car?
Looks like he might have a slight bit of damage.
That might not be helping him either during the course of this battle, as he's already fallen to a second back from Preet. So Preet actually able to get away this time, unlike the first stage where he couldn't get away. Let's go back to the bottom.
Elliott Smith just took a pit road. That's going to hand that spot over to Tyler Vickery.
So Vickery finally able to move up to P4, but that's by default, as Elliott Smith, the first man to blink and bring a pit side, as does Kyle Gilbert. So green flag pit stops. This might actually be the money stop now, Tony.
Well, we're within 15 to go, or will be the next time by. So, yeah, we're at that point where, you know, the tires have pretty much just given up the ghost, and you know, these guys are going to be looking for Mr. Feelgoods and you know, top it off with fuel to make sure they can make it to the end.
Absolutely, just focusing on Elliott Smith and Kyle Gilbert. Elliott Smith gets a pit time of 14.7. Gilbert not so fast in his pit stall. He gets a 15.4. Because this is open setups, it might be a difference in fuel right there between the two.
Story is Marshall Newton caught more airtime in the skateboard at the X Games coming into the S's, so you know, he falls another lap down to just Tyler Vickery. You know, as Vickery's got a big hill to climb to try to get to Andrew Frazier, 13 seconds back off of him.
But Vickery's still up there, and still it's going to be interesting to see how how his battle with Elliott Smith shapes out through the pit stops, as Elliott Smith has already been down pit road, as we've already seen, and will be on fresher tyres. Let's see how long Tyler Vickery can actually go for before he actually has to bring it down to pit stop, as he gets it all wrong in the uphill section. We did have a small talk to Tyler Vickery during the break, and asked him what he thought of the car and everything like that, and he says it feels pretty good, but every now and again he just has to, like, kind of fight the car.
Well, it's to the point where, again, you've worn all the goodie off the tires, and now it's just down to sheer will of, if you can keep it on track or not.
Absolutely, but nevertheless, Tyler Vickery up into P4 as we have nobody else taking the pit side. Actually, we do. Spencer Preet in pit road. First and leader to blink.
Going to hand the lead back to Cozy as Cozy's making his way through the uphill right now.
Let's focus in on Spencer Preet. Let's see how long he can keep it in his pit stall. Gets in there pretty safely, so no drama so far, as 14.7 in his stall. That's going to get him out safely. So now we've got to focus in on Michael Cozy Jr. and see how he does. I can only assume he's going to bring it in this lap.
Well, Frazier and Vickery both stayed out. Mark Arthur's pit side. And Doug Thompson's coming right now. So, of your lead lap cars, looks like everybody's going pit side right now except for the 91 of Elliott Smith, who stays out.
He's already pitted.
That would be why he stayed out.
So Elliott Smith moving back up to the top 5 spot after his pit stop. It looks like he's used a fast repair as well, so great time to use that if you've got it. And I'm guessing when Tyler Vickery does eventually come down, he'll use his fast repair too.
Gonna kind of have to, because that car looks like it's definitely seen better days.
Michael Cozy Jr. staying out an extra lap as he's going through the uphill section. So he knows something that we don't. Spencer Preet obviously back out of pit road now, just coming through the hairpin. And it already is, he's already closing down Andrew Frazier.
And Vickery's going to stay out again.
Oh, slide for life going for the hairpin. Good drifting there, Tyler.
Sticks to landing, though.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, right? If he doesn't get this career choice right, he should go and start doing a bit of drifting, you know?
Sure, why not?
I mean, he got that drift pretty nice. Nicely done.
Yeah. Wrong.
Focusing back on Michael Cozy Jr. as he makes his way around the right-hander towards the hairpin now. Let's see if he does bring it down pit side this time. And he does. Michael Cozy in pit road. So the best thing to do now is to focus in on Spencer Preet. And Cozy not slowing down. Wow, we went around that hairpin very quickly. So the man we need to focus on now is Spencer Preet. Can Spencer Preet get out ahead of Michael Cozy Jr. as he's already making his way towards the hairpin, but he's got a gaggle of cars in front of him as Frazier brings it down finally. Moves to the inside of Bunce, and now he's got Hunter King to deal with as well. Michael Cozy still putting on the right side tyres. As there goes Spencer Preet. Preet is back in the lead.
Well, Cozy was trying, because he was definitely charging the line coming into pit road, because where the cones are for speed are actually around the backside of the hairpin. And Vickery bringing it pit side this time.
So Tyler Vickery in. This is another interesting battle we got to look at now, as Elliott Smith has already pitted. So as Elliott Smith is already making his way through the hairpin, so Vickery's going to lose a position to Smith here. So Vickery going to lose this position to Smith and Gilbert. So Tyler Vickery, I think, might have stayed out a bit too long, as he's already been demoted out of the top 5 by Gilbert and Elliott Smith.
And that's something that kind of have to, you gamble. It's always a gamble when you're taking green flag stops of when do you go, when don't you go. I think you're right. He probably should have pit at least one lap sooner, because the fresher tires let those guys just reel him right in. And he's not going to have warm tires until he gets at least to the S's.
And I'm guessing he must have burnt his fast repair already, because he has not used one on this pit stop either. His car does not look clean at all.
It looks cleaner than it did.
Yeah, he must have repaired some damage while he was in pit road, but must have already used his fast repairers. He's still got a bit of damage on that front end, but question is, with 12 laps to go, can he make up a 10.5 second deficit to Kyle Gilbert and get back up to that top 5? Second question is, can Cozy Jr. make up a 5.5 second deficit to Spencer Preet and get himself up to the number 1 spot? As it looks like Doug Thompson getting it all wrong for the S's. Taking a trip across the sand there. And that's going to be all stuck up in his grillers. Oh, almost getting it wrong as well. Again, in the right-hander. Doug Thompson struggling a bit now in that number 13 machine, as looks like Hunter King's starting to catch him. Well, no, he's not. Maybe put a lap back on. Take a lap back off him. But back to Tyler Vickery. He's already taken 0.4 of a second out of Kyle Gilbert. So Vickery on a charge right now. He's going to try and close that gap as much as he can before this race is over. But the man at the front of the field is Spencer Preet. I spoke to him while you were away, Tony, and he actually thought that Cozy Jr. had a more of a better car underneath him than Preet did, and thought he was a lot more smoother for the corners. But doesn't seem to be the case right now.
Well, depending on which camera view you're using, you can see Cozy Jr. in some of the shots. So, you know, they can see each other on track. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, as going to be 10 to go this time across the stripe.
Absolutely making his way towards the hairpin now, Spencer Preet. And yeah, Michael Cozy Jr. has got that gap now down to 4 seconds. So Preet is going to have to put his foot down and hope that Cozy doesn't catch him, because Cozy's on his way now. He's actually put his foot to the floor and he wants to get back up to that number 1 spot.
Well, you can't say you really blame him. You know, they've definitely been the class of the field all night, as they are 35 seconds to the good over Andrew Frazier right now, who sits in 3rd.
And Frazier finally using a fast repair, so he is dead set to finish in 3rd place, albeit he's only 8 seconds to the good over Elliott Smith. Elliott Smith using a fast repair as well, so he is back up to full specifications in that car. Oh, big issues there. Tyler Vickery's moved up to P5. Something's happened to Gilbert. Gilbert spun it. Let's go back and see what happened to him in that 227. Took too much curb going through the hairpin, and I'm guessing it's going to be through the S's that he lost it. And it does. The back end stepped out, and at exactly the same point where he wrecked earlier in the race, he does it again, Tony.
Well, it's downhill and off camber when you're going into the S's, so yeah, it's very easy to get it wrong, and when it does go wrong, it goes horribly wrong, horribly quickly. Luckily, he did the right thing and didn't try to just come right back out on track, and he gave Vickery a lane because he knew Vickery was going to be coming at speed.
Well, Tyler Vickery promoted up to the top 5 now because of that. Albeit he's only 1.6 seconds up the road from Gilbert, but Gilbert going to have some severe damage on that 227. And it's going to be a hard task for Gilbert to actually get back around the 24.
Going to be a big ask, but we've seen stranger things happen, especially tonight here at Sonoma.
Absolutely, as with the case of Tyler Vickery. I mean, he thought all was lost to get top 5 here after that pit stop, but gifted the top 5 right here after that mistake by Kyle Gilbert, and is already dead set to go on again and claim that top 5 as Gilbert goes off through the second to last corner.
And almost collects the barriers at the end of pit road.
And back end stepping out again. He's got some severe damage to the point where it's just not comfortable to drive anymore. Not that these cars are comfortable to drive anyway around this track.
Well, you're talking about a 3,400-pound stock car that on a good day can get around an oval track at a relatively decent pace. You know, these cars were never really designed to make quick direction changes.
Yeah. I'm just focusing on Gilbert here, and he's just drifting it around the corners now. I think he's lost his last F to give right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. As going back to the lead battle now, Michael Cozy Jr. has got that gap down to 3.5 seconds between him and Spencer Preet. He has got Mark Arthur in between him and Preet, so another teammate to pass before he gets to the leader. But Michael Cozy, he's taken half a tenth, he's taken half a second out of Spencer Preet just through the S's.
Yeah, and I'd also like to point out that Arthur and Preet, or I'm sorry, Preet and Cozy have just lapped all the way up to 7th.
Yeah.
So 6 cars left on the lead lap. That's impressive.
Absolutely, as there we see Spencer Preet just crossing the line. We now have 7 laps to go here at Sonoma. And it's been a two horse battle, more or less, throughout this whole race. I mean, Spencer Preet and Michael Cozy, like you said, already being the class of the field here tonight. And it's set to get better, I'm feeling, because that gap between the 77 and the 27 is just getting smaller and smaller. And we could have one hellacious battle between these two before this is all said and done.
Well, we are inside 10 to go, so, you know, anything is possible. And, you know, we've seen mistakes made all around, you know, by the leaders, by lap cars. You know, anything's possible here. And, you know, Cozy can see Preet. And, you know, teammate or not, a win's a win. You know, and if you... I mean, he's not going to try to kill him, but, you know, bump and run, all's fair in love and racing.
Absolutely. See Cozy actually driving the wheels off that 77, almost got it wrong for the S's, lost a bit of time to Preet as they make their way towards the hairpin. You see
and Preet just loves killing those cones going into pit road.
Yeah. That's probably why he got the black flag he did in qualifying, because I think he killed those cones a bit too much during that run.
Possibly.
More like a certainty, not a possibility.
It's a definite maybe.
Yeah. Let's go with that thought, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to Marcus Hagman. Under a bit of pressure there from Doug Thompson there, as there is a battle for P8 spicing up here, as we are 6 laps to go here at Sonoma. There's Marcus Hagman there, just going up the hill. Doug Thompson just following up there, so nice little battle brewing here between the 099 and the 13, as James Bunce goes off again.
Bunce has had nothing but bad luck tonight, and I got to really feel for the guy, because he a lot better driver than tonight has shown. You know, we've seen him run towards the front of the field most of the season, and just this is not normal James Bunce driving tonight.
Yeah, same can be said for Hunter King. Hunter King is usually one of the front runners when it comes to the oval racing, but the road course racing, I think, might be his kryptonite here, as he does have a red sticker on his car, which means he's a rookie on road courses. So, yeah, road course is definitely his kryptonite. And the same for Mark Arthur as well. He's got a red sticker on his car too, so definitely not a road course racer. Still doing really well, though, to keep it in P7, though, Tony.
You're not wrong, as Kyle Gilbert has gotten back by Tyler Vickery.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I think that might have been a clean pass, actually, although it looks like...
No, Vickery got it wrong going through the S's.
Ah.
Caught too much of the curb coming through the second set, and actually dipped 2 onto the sand, and just, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Gets it all wrong, and Fortunately, Vickery
better not look in his mirror, because here comes Spencer Preet.
Yeah. As we are going to be 4 laps to go here at Sonoma. There goes Preet for the final corner. And it looks like Preet's actually starting to gap Cozy again, as the gap between them is almost up to 4 seconds again.
Cozy just got it all wrong coming through the hairpin at the pit end. Complete Tokyo drift coming through there. How he held on to it, I have no idea.
I have no idea either. As Vickery's starting to close in on Gilbert again. But like you said, he needs to watch his mirrors, as he's got the leader coming towards him right now. Question is, can Vickery get by the 227? I mean, he is catching him, but he's got to get around him. And that is no easy feat, especially with the caliber of driver we've got with Kyle Gilbert right now.
True story. You know, if he planned ahead, what he would do is jump in behind Spencer Preet when Preet goes by him, and kind of use Preet, for lack of a better term, as a bulldozer.
Yeah, pretty much. Kyle Gilbert still fighting that car as he went through the second to last corner. Losing more time to Vickery, as Vickery's just taken 0.3 of a second out of his the gap now. As Vickery almost gets it wrong coming through the final corner. That might be the final nail in the coffin with respect to Vickery trying to get back in the top 5, as here comes Spencer Preet. So, big moment there for Vickery.
Big moment. It looks like he's trying to jump in behind Gilbert. Preet. The only thing is, Preet just gone.
Yeah,
flat gone.
Preet's on another level. No, not on another level.
Dare I say alien?
I was going to say another planet.
Yeah.
Another universe, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Another thought to go with, yay. Let's go back to Andrew Fraser. We're not seeing a lot of him recently. That's because he's been riding all on his own for the past, what, 20, 30 laps now, so...
Well, really... since the green flag flew.
Yeah. Catching up to Doug Thompson. Doug Thompson is actually still 2 seconds behind Marcus Hackman, as the battle between him as those two drivers just fizzles away as we get close to the end of this race. Andrew Fraser is coming to lap them, so that might put a bit more daylight between them, as Tyler Vickery has closed the gap even more between him and Gilbert. It's less than a second now between the 227 and the 24.
Only about 3 car lengths separate the two right now, as Gilbert just let Preet get by, and that really let... Excuse me. Tonight's Heartburn brought to you by Scalloped Potatoes. Nice. That really let Vickery reel him in. So, it's going to be interesting.
As you see Kyle Gilbert there, still struggling with that car. We are 2 laps to go. You see Spencer Preet just in front of him right there. He is on his way to getting the white flag right now. So, utter dominance here by the 227, but hasn't had it all his own way during this race, as we go back to the battle between Gilbert and Vickery. Gilbert getting a bit of a slide through the S's there. Going towards the second to last corner. Let's see what Vickery can do here now. He's got more speed going towards the hairpin. There is Marshall Newton to the inside. And, oh no! Vickery gets collected by Newton! Oh no! Dare I say it, Vickery is going to be one pissed off individual in that number 24 right now. As, let's go back to the race. Yeah. Spencer Preet has taken the white flag here. The white flag is out. Going up the hill here. And into the right-hander down the short chute. And into the small hairpin at the back of the field. And down towards the S's one final time is Spencer Preet, as he's just really got to coast it home. He's 5 seconds to the good over Michael Cozy Jr. No threats from behind at all, as Cozy just gets around Gilbert. Into the second to last corner, and down towards the hairpin one final time. Spencer Preet led 32 laps of this race. This is his 33rd lap led. Anyway. That'll make him the most laps led here tonight as he comes towards the final corner. Spencer Preet is your winner here at Sonoma Raceway. Michael Cozy
And the rest of your top 5 finished how they started.
Yeah, Michael Cozy Jr. coming across the line for second, doing a bit of drifting for the final corner. Andrew Fraser still coming down for the S's, but he is going to cross the line for third place. Not had any dramas there for the number 18, but good result there for the Coors Light machine. Elliott Smith had a quiet second part, the final part of the race. He's just making his way down through the S's now in that number 91. He will claim 4th place. Kyle Gilbert gifted 5th place, and Tyler Vickery absolutely distraught. He's put his car behind the wall already. Oh yeah, he's a lap down, so he can. The Spencer Preet, not sure where he's gone. Okay.
He was doing burnouts at the end of the drag strip, and I think he fell off.
No, he's still there. Go back a bit and start these burnouts. He's got some front end damage. I don't know where he got that from. That might be when he ran into the back of Cozy. We're not sure.
Possibility.
As that is our winner, Mr. Spencer Preet. We are going to go straight to our interviews now, as we are going to speak to our 3rd place finisher. That is Mr. Andrew Fraser. Andrew, very quiet run here tonight, but still came home with the podium. Tell us how your race went tonight.
To be quite honest, the car was really ugly. It was really hot here compared to all of the practice sessions that I ran in. So the setup wasn't really built for it. It was a long run setup, and I was hoping to catch the 2 in front, but they were just way too fast. They're in a league of their own tonight.
Absolutely. But best of the rest here, Andrew. Want to go over the restarts there. I mean, collected a bit of damage on that 3rd restart. Just talk us through that, and was that damage any detriment to you? Because it looks like you just didn't have the speed in the car to keep it with the top 2. But like you said, they're on another level. Was that damage hampering you at all on top of that?
Quite honestly, no. It was a little bit hairy out of the corners, funnily enough, but no, not really. It would have given me another 2/10, which, would be nothing.
Absolutely. Well, definitely a fantastic result here for you tonight, Andrew. Looking ahead to next week, we go to Chicagoland. What are your thoughts going into that race?
Well, I'll be back in the mid-pack, that's for sure. But I'm committed to practice sessions with Elliot and Mark, my 2 teammates, Mark McSweeney, that is. So hopefully I can give a better showing of myself than previous weeks.
Okay, Andrew. Definitely looking forward to that one next week. Well, anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's result?
Yeah, Mark McSweeney and Elliot Smith, they helped me put together this setup.
Okay, Andrew. Again, congratulations on coming home 3rd place. Made it look just that easy tonight, but I'm sure it wasn't from behind the wheel. But congratulations again, and we will see you next week at Chicagoland.
Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers.
Now that's out of the way. We've spoken to one of the resident Aussies here in the league. Tony, I believe you have a Mr. Michael Cozy Jr. with you right now.
I do. Mike, I know probably not the finish you were hoping for, but it looks like the pit stop may have bit you just a tick. Hello, Mike.
Hello?
There we go. Now we got you.
How you doing?
So, talk us through that green flag stop. It looks like that may have possibly been the deciding factor in tonight's event.
Yeah, well, I went to pit for Fort Preet. It didn't happen, so I lost.
Fair enough. But you got to be pleased with the show that the two of you put on tonight. It was just on a complete another level with the rest of the field.
Yeah, it was a really fun battle. Sonoma was fun car. It was a decent amount of wheel spin, so just enough for it to be pretty fun. Kind of sucked that lap traffic got in the way a good couple times there, but other than that, I mean, it was pretty fun.
Well, that's to be expected when you guys lap all the way up to fourth place. Was the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, I don't really mind that. It just sucks when one of the lap cars trying to get the hell out of the way or wrecks one of the leaders, but yeah, I mean, that's so it goes, but that's okay. Rebounded pretty good. I just hate to see that, but other than that, it wasn't too terribly bad tonight.
So the series moves to Chicagoland next week. Talk to us your thoughts about the going to Jet.
I don't know. I hate mile and a half, so I might not show up.
Fair enough. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Preet and Mark for the setup. Apologies to them for not really showing up to help. I was kind of busy. I showed up to the set. I didn't even know I was going to race tonight, but I showed up like 5-10 minutes before it started. So my apologies there for not helping with the set this week, but it looked like they had it under control. So thanks to those guys. Thanks to those guys, and thanks for broadcasting.
Well, thanks for giving us a heck of a show to broadcast. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. If not, we'll catch you down the road at the next one.
All right, appreciate it.
That was our second place finisher. Always an interesting interview when it comes to interviewing Mr. Cozy Jr. But joining us right now is our race winner, Spencer. I spoke to you during the competition caution at the end of stage 2. You thought that Cozy might have had the edge over you, but clearly not the case after winning it pretty much through the pit stops.
Yeah, that first part of the run in the last stage, I think really I learned a lot, I guess, riding behind Cozy, and I started to kind of pick up on a couple things and seeing how some of the spots where it looked like he was spinning the tires, and I kind of learned from that and was able to, pick and choose where I wanted to really try to put the power down so that I wouldn't burn my stuff up. And by the end of that run, I was able, I got right up on him, and once I passed him, I mean, I gapped him by almost like 2 seconds by the time I made my stop, and I really didn't expect that. So it kind of caught me off guard, and I thought maybe I went with the wrong strategy by pitting earlier than him. But I kind of already made up in my mind I wanted to pit with around 15 to go. I felt like that was the sweet spot with the tires. Anything after that, they started to really crumble. So I was kind of surprised that he didn't come in earlier. And but when he stayed out those extra couple laps, I was worried because he was going to have like 3 or 4 lap fresher tires than me. So but I was able to get enough of a gap in the time in between and maintain as best as I could. And like I said, I was able to kind of I figured out the throttle control a lot better in that last stage than I had been doing in the first 2, and it really helped me for long run durability.
Absolutely. And it looked for a moment like Cozy was starting to close in on you, but in the end managed to pull away, and you finished ahead by a really healthy 6 seconds in the end. So definitely paid off in the end for you, Spencer, and congratulations on the win tonight. Looking ahead to next week, we head to Chicagoland. What are your thoughts on the 1.5 miles in Joliet, Illinois?
I'm not too sure. I guess it's probably just going to be like most of the 1.5 miles. I think a lot of the same guys are going to be quick. Gilbert's going to have speed. Hopefully we're going to have it figured out. We've been kind of struggling on the 1.5 miles recently, so I don't know, but Chicagoland's really not one of my favorites. Don't have that much experience there, but yeah, it's probably going to be really similar.
Yeah, and just be thankful in the fact that in 2 weeks we're going to Daytona, so be able to ramp up the speed there. But anyway, one more time, congratulations, Spencer, and anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's win?
I'll just shout out to my team, Mark. He had the perfect touch on the setup. He was able to get, I mean, Sonoma is notorious for tire spin, but I mean, he got this thing just about perfect as it goes to, like, you're still spinning the tires, but he made it feel all right, and it definitely it showed on the long run. So shout out to Mark, shout out to Cozy, shout out to Travis, shout out to my buddy Jared watching, and thanks to Tex for putting it on, and you guys for showing us off with the broadcast.
Okay, thank you, Spencer. Great win again, and we'll see you next week in Chicagoland.
All right, thank you.
That was our winner, Spencer Preet. Definitely interesting race here tonight, but absolute domination by Spencer Preet and Michael Cozy.
Absolutely, and this just goes back to what we've been talking about, is the difference between the haves and the have-nots on the road racing side. I don't actually have the stats up in front of me right now as my but I dare say that Preet and Cozy, you're talking two guys that have a ton of road racing experience. I'm sure you probably have their their I ratings in front of you on the road side, and that's going to tell volumes about finished where and why tonight.
Well, Spencer Preet has a 2050 I rating, and Michael Cozy Jr. has a 1701 I rating. Actually, the person with the biggest I rating on road here tonight was actually Elliott Smith. He's got 2,147 for his I rating and A class 3.04. So definitely not the highest when it comes to I rating, but definitely able to keep the car wound up and put on a show tonight. But anyway, let's go to tonight's official results, as Spencer Preet, as we already mentioned, bringing home the win, 6 seconds ahead of his teammate Michael Cozy Jr., who comes home in second place. Third place goes to the Aussie Andrew Fraser. Fourth place will be Elliott Smith. Fifth place will be Carl Gilbert. Gifted that after the incident between Tyler Vickery and Marshall Newton. Vickery finishing in 6th place in the end, 1 lap down. Mark Arthur 7th. Marcus Hagman comes home in 8th. Doug Thompson 9th, and Hunter King rounds out your top 10.
Marshall Newton coming home in 11th. 12th going to James Bunce. Rough night for James tonight. He had everything except the pace car and the flag stand through no fault of his own. Tex Perry in 13th. Travis Brown in 14th. 15th going to Corey Henry. Mark McSweeney in 16th. And Adam Jocelyn rounding out the field in 17th.
Well, that is going to do it here tonight at Sonoma. A fantastic race put on by the Major League eSports Series again for their K&N cars. But again, that is going to do it here tonight. Just want to go ahead and go through our schedule for the coming days, as tomorrow night, after we go finish here tonight, we're going to head east again. Well, not too far east, as we're going to Michigan with the IRA teams, with the Top Fuel Racing Penny Dudley ALS Drive for a Cure 250. That broadcast set to kick off somewhere in the evening. I can't remember what time it is, but anyway, definitely for a good cause to fight Cure for ALS. There are still spots open, so get your name down and get yourself throw in a donation for these guys. They definitely deserve it. Robert Dudley putting on this event on Sunday. Monday, we are back with the Paskey's Cardiac Truck Series, and they are going to be going off. I can't remember where they're going, but they will be there as well. Unfortunately, due to that, we are still missing the Sprint Series, but we will have them back very soon on both the broadcast, and we have spoken to them and they understand the situation right now. But Tuesday night we're taking the night off, and Wednesday night we're back in Michigan again with Top Fuel Racing, this time with the DW12s, as they get to they start rounding off their season with brand new champion Scott Brinson just having a bit of a homecoming there at Michigan. Thursday night we're back with Tomo, as they are the first guys to head to Chicagoland, and on Friday we will be heading to Chicago again with the returning of the Go Fast Racing League, and then Saturday we're back again with these guys, the Catalyst Series. But regardless, that is going to do it tonight. Tony, what are your thoughts on tonight's race and going into tomorrow's special race for Top Fuel Racing?
I'm thinking that we saw two drivers that were on just a completely another level tonight, could show complete dominance of this field. And then tomorrow night, I could not be prouder of Scott Brinson giving you and I the opportunity to broadcast this special event, to try to help raise money for ALS research and try to put an end to this disease.
Absolutely, and that is going to be a special event to savour, as we are going to be there throughout the whole proceedings and giving you the best show that we can, and the guys on track will be giving you the best show that they can as they get set up to kick off in the I-18 as well. But tonight, that is going to do it for us, as we are going to step away and go and catch our flight to Michigan. It's going to be a long flight, but we'll get used to it. We're pretty much used to it by now. But anyway, all that's left for me to say here tonight is keep it clean, keep it green, as we will see you tomorrow night from Michigan with the Penny Dudley ALS Race for a Cure 250 and Top Fuel Racing.